Are you looking to protect the gear in the back of your truck? Well, look no further than the BAKFlip Fibermax truck bed cover. Stay tuned to learn more. Hello and welcome to In the Garage. I'm Steven Fillers. Today we have a really interesting product from BAK Industries. We have their Fibermax. It's a BAKFlip. It's in the BAKFlip line of products. And with BAK, we actually have Chris Fleeman. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, Steven, doing awesome, man. Thanks for having us in the garage.
Very, very good. I appreciate you coming out and telling us about this product. Guys, let's go ahead and get this unboxed and show you what comes included in the package. Okay, so everything has been laid out on the table, as you can see here. Chris, what can you tell us about everything that comes included, as well as what makes the BAKFlip Fibermax stand out?
Absolutely, Steven. What we have here is we have our rails. This will actually attach the cover to the bed of the truck. We have our cover, which is probably the most important part of it. And from there, we have our red hardware kit. This is going to contain everything that it's needed to install the cover. It's going to have your drain tubes, your clamps, and your cab bumpers. We also have the prop rods. And most important, we have a new feature here. We now have integrated straps and buckles, and these are the clips that will be required to install on your new cover. Now the Fibermax, what makes it great, it's our standard FRP cover. The FRP is the top skin, and it's a fiberglass reinforced polymer, and what's nice about it, it holds up real well to dents and impacts.
Awesome. Well, that's good knowledge to have. And with that, let's go and get this installed on the truck. All right, so before we get underway with the installation, the first thing that we want to do, like the other tonneau covers that we've installed with BAK, is first of all, clean the bulkheads, add the bulkhead seal. So we've used an acetone material just on a rag, and we're going to wipe this down very good. You can use rubbing alcohol, anything similar that's going to clean and evaporate quickly. So that's going to allow us to clean this bulkhead up very nicely, very effectively, and allow that bulkhead seal to adhere very, very well. All right, guys, so now the bulkhead surface has been prepped and we're ready to install the seal. So one thing you want to note is when you're installing this, you want to install it on the bulkhead, the closest area you can reach on the side of the bed. So not on the side of the cab, but the side of the bed. You'll see what I'm talking about as I begin to install this. So I'll put it in right there, and that'll be our starting point. And don't remove the entire adhesive cover right up front, just remove a little bit at a time as you need it. Another thing you want to note is you don't want to be pulling this to straighten it out or anything like that, because that can stretch it. Just let it lie as it does, and just use your left hand or your right hand, depending on the side you start from, to guide it to keep it semi-straight. Don't just cut off where you think automatically that you want to cut off at. Give yourself some room to breathe. So make a mark, probably around there. And if you're afraid of doing this, cut it a little bit long so you can adjust it down a little bit. If you cut it too short, you can't fix it. So cut it a little long. If you're unsure, I think this will be just fine. And then we can push that in and give it a nice fit, and then make sure everything else is sealed up just perfect. Okay, so next up we have the bed rails. Chris, before we get with this installation, are there any tricks we should know as far as the rails are concerned, the placement of the clamps? What can you tell us all about this process?
Well, Steven, on this truck, being a brand new Ford F-150, it's pre-shimmed from our factory. So this particular one, we're just gonna set the rail up here, and we'll go all the way forward on the bulkhead, and then we'll start putting our clamps on.
Okay, very good.
Now the first clamp, we're going to want to go all the way forward here, just as far as you can, right in this area there. And at this point, you just want to tighten it up snug. Don't over tighten it now.
Okay, easy enough. I think that's about right.
Now remember, on 5.5 foot and 6 foot beds, there's going to be 3 clamps per side. On 8 foot beds, there'll be 4 clamps per side. Steven, now that we got the rails in place and the clamps on, let's do the final tightening on them. The trick is we want to make sure this seal gets pushed down all the way. Okay. So just push down on it good, give it one good pop. Go ahead and give it that last half turn. And that should put your rails in place. Let's continue on these other 2 clamps here. Okay. And we'll have this side done.
Okay, so what we're gonna do now is install our drain tubes on the rails. What we've done here, we've actually removed the stock seal, as you can see here. And you can go back and drill a hole in there if you want to, so you don't have to have the full seal loose like that. So again, drill a hole there if you want to make room for the pipe. What we're gonna do though, is just feed it into the bottom of the rail. Maybe hard to see there, but there's a little slot just for it. And then you're just gonna feed this, simply feed it through the slot, just like that.
All right, Stephen, let's, you can do this by yourself, but it always helps if you have a friend to give you a hand. We're gonna just take the cover, set it toward the front of the truck. Now at this part here, we're just gonna take the panel here and fold this front little panel over and just slide it a little bit further forward. There you go, get it squared up. All right, now let's get the elevator bolts and show the people how this works.
All right, so again, the elevator bolts are gonna go, first of all, go ahead and put your rubber washer on, and there's gonna be a pre-drilled hole, and this is gonna be just behind the bulkhead. You'll see that right there. And you'll feed this through, just like so. Make sure it's nice and snug. When that's done, we're gonna fold up the cover. Just like that. And then kind of position a lot of the weight that the cover is pushing down onto that bolt you just put in. That's gonna allow us to kind of work with the threads a little bit better. That's gonna give us a little more room to work with. And as you do this in your own home, you'll know what we're talking about. It just makes it a lot easier to do the installation on. So again, you're gonna want the rubber washer top, you're gonna want the metal washer in the middle, and then you're gonna want the lock washer on the bottom. All right guys, so we have the elevator bolts installed now. So Chris, what are the next steps involved in getting this completed?
Well, now we want to go ahead and close the cover, and we want to line it up on the truck, kind of square it up. Now remember, always close the tailgate before we close this last panel. We want to make sure that the last panel is good and closed, and we're looking good and square on the truck. Looking pretty good here. How's it looking on your side, Steve?
It looks really good.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Well, now let's open this thing back up and tighten down those star nuts, and we'll be ready for the final steps of installation.
All right, so the cover is pretty much installed now. What we're gonna worry about at this point is making sure the investment in our truck is protected. And we have these really cool cab bumpers that's gonna install directly on the cover that's gonna protect our windshield, or rear windshield, from any kind of abrasive maneuvers that this can do when it's in the upright position. So what we'll do, this is a double-sided tape. So again, we're gonna go back to how we installed the bulkhead seal. We're gonna clean this surface off very good with an acetone and a rag, as you can see he's doing there. We're gonna make sure that's cleaned off so that this adheres much better than it would if it were dusty or dirty. So let's get that done, get these plugged in, and then we'll move on to the next step.
Stephen, these are the buckles we were talking about. Now the cover can actually travel in this position, and to do this, all you do is unclip your buckle, clip it right into the front buckle that we just installed, pull it tight, now you're ready to travel. Now we only have one thing left to do. Let's go ahead and open up the cover here, and we have our prop rods to install.
Okay.
Now these are very simple to install. You have the little ball socket here. This right here just pops right in there. And you have the little clip here. This is to travel in position here. I'll go ahead and show you right quick how to use it. If you actually want to travel with the truck bed cover in this position here, you just slide that down, wedge that to the bottom, tighten it up, and you're ready to go.
All right guys, so everything is now in place. Everything is installed as it should be. The buckles, the clamps, everything is good to go. And so now I do want to talk about functionality. So Chris, as a new BAKFlip owner, what should I know about operation? How is this thing going to work for me? What do I need to know before I get involved?
Well, the first thing you do is you just open up the tailgate. I guess I need your key, bud.
Okay, unlock it. There you go.
Wow, some of these newer models even have integrated tailgate locks.
They do.
Well, the first thing you'll do here is you'll pull the latch cable here. And there's a latch cable on each panel. Then again, if you wanted to open it up all the way, and this is the feature that makes the BAKFlip unique from any of the other covers out there, is it'll give you back your entire truck bed. A lot of covers only stay in that third position. We'll go ahead and go in the fourth position, and this is a great thing about the cover, because now not only can you use this as a big trunk, you can also use it as a truck, the reason you bought it to start with.
Very cool. And even these these rods here can keep it in place so we can travel like this down the road, whatever the case may be. I love that about this cover.
Absolutely, and we'll show you how to close this thing also.
Okay, we get this back in place and I'll let you do your thing. There you go.
This is the part that's pretty easy here. These are slam locks, so they just lock automatically. The one thing is your tailgate goes first, and you cover on top of it, and you're done. You're ready to go, your cargo is safe and secure. One click of a button, and your tailgate's locked.
And let's even do that, so. That easy, wow. All right, so the cover is installed now. As you can see, it looks fantastic. I couldn't be happier with the way that it turned out. Chris, thank you again for coming in and helping with this installation.
Stephen, thanks for having us in the garage.
Yes, sir, it's always a pleasure, and again, we appreciate it. Guys at home, if you want more details on this product, check the description below. We'll have all of that laid out below there for you, as well as a dealer locator, so you can find this product at a dealer near you. Thanks again for tuning in. This has been Performance Corner in the Garage.